What is going on, everybody? This is KJ, and I am here to bring you my Week 4 team builder for UGL. We are playing Polo this week, who's a very good friend of mine. Just kind of want to go through his team really quick. So he's got Mew, Como, Starmie, Sylveon, Drapion, Runerigus, Persian Alola, Thwackey, Reboot, Noctowl, and Magneton. So his team is incredibly scary. You never know what Mew or Como are going to do. A Lonely Persian's another Mon that's sort of nice, like glue utility Mon. He's got Drapion, potentially set things like T-Spikes, as well as just like good knockoff and poison jab user, and also has like crit sets and stuff like that. We've got the Sylveon, which is one of the best Wish Passers in the format, arguably the best one. Starmie, which is a really cool Mon with some really cool versatility, and also hits pretty hard. And then he's got like the triple NFE core, which is really interesting with the 2 starter NFEs with Thwackey and Reboot, and then Magneton, which is a very good steel type and has Magnet Pull. So all of those things to keep in mind while we go through the team. I do want to note that I am going to start doing in-game team builders, just because, I mean, we're playing in-game. Showing a bunch of stuff on Showdown just didn't feel right. And I mean, yes, it does hide the spreads a little more, but those are always kind of available. So if people really want me to post the like PokePaste or something in the description, I can do that as well. So yeah, time to get into the team. So first off, we have the Primarina with leftovers. Obviously, Torrent does its the better ability. We've got Moonblast, Surf, Calm Mind, Sub. The idea here is that we can sub up on pretty much anything on his team that's special, which is nice. And we can start setting up Calm Minds, and we'll be getting some recovery back with the leftovers. If he does decide to go with Thwackey, then the Grassy Terrain is also potentially something that'll be up that's healing us, so that's good. And yeah, I think Primarina with its 2 stabs just hits really hard, especially after a couple Calm Minds. Like, it could potentially just kind of blow things away. And I do want to note that we do actually outspeed base 70s based on, like, no speed base 70s based on the sort of things that I was speed creeping. So that's good. And also, this thing does live a poison jab from Drapion, so that's huge. And yeah, we're running a lot of defensive bulk this time around. So depending on his Drapion spread, it could even be a 2-hit KO if he's not super attack invested, which I know last week he was not. He used Drapion as a more defensive Mon, so I think Primarina, if he doesn't bring an offensive Drapion, could even like pressure Drapion a bit. So that'll be something to keep an eye out for. And Jolly Como doesn't actually Oko Primarina with, like, I'm pretty sure it's like a roll in my favor to 2-hit KO. So that's really nice. And then even at +1, Como does not kill with a poison jab. So Primarina can still kind of handle even like if it's at full health, can handle a Como that's at +1, which is again crazy to think about. But yeah, Primarina is just such a good Mon. I think it's the best tier 2 Mon personally. But all right, to get to the next Mon, we have the Rotom Fan. It is Timidasia Rotom. It's max HP, max speed, to make sure that we can outspeed the Como. And we do have leftovers here. And basically, with Rotom, just trying to spread status. Air Slash hits a good amount of his team, especially the Thwackey, which I'm a little worried about. Will-O-Wisp is nice because it can burn potentially the Como, and if he does have a Lumberry or something like that, then we can get rid of that, so that'll be nice. One other thing is Hex, for the fact that we want to be able to hit his Mons that are weak to Ghost, so Mew, Starmie, and Runerigus, but we also want to make sure that we can hit Como if it does switch in. So, like, if he switches in expecting a Shadow Ball, for instance. So, because Como does get bulletproof. So yeah, I think Rotom will be pretty key here. It lives like an Ice Beam from an offensive Starmie, which is really cool. A timid offensive Starmie. He does have to go timid because he needs to outspeed, potentially outspeed like things like Lycanroc, especially because Lycanroc, if it did get a setup and then started to click Crunch or something like that, could really do damage if he wasn't outspeeding. So there's that. But yeah, going to the next mon, we have the Chandelure, and this Chandelure is actually a sub Salac Berry set with Infiltrator. So the idea here is we can continue to sub. Like if we get a sub on something on Switch, and then he like decides he wants to break the sub, we get the sub, keep subbing until we get to a situation where we can proc the Salac Berry, and then we're faster. Hopefully at that point we've already kind of spread some status around, so Hex will be doing bigger damage, and then things that Hex isn't necessarily doing big damage to, Flamethrower can. So we are modest with a maxed out special attack, so it's going to hit hard. It's going to hit very hard, and Infiltrate is going to allow us to go in through any potential screens or sub or anything like that, so looking forward to this. The next mon we have is the Skarmory, and one of the things that I do have to make sure is that we do not get trapped by the potential Magneton. So we do have some speed investment to speed creep the Magneton if it doesn't have speed. And that will help us to make sure that we can just click Body Press and obliterate it. If he does end up going Magnet Pull, if he doesn't go Magnet Pull and goes Sturdy, then that is just kind of how it is. But we'll see what happens. I think he's going to have to try to, since they're both base 70, he's going to have to try to predict how much speed that I put in. And yeah, I think that'll just be the game that we'll have to play if it does come out that he's in front of me with the Magneton. And this is heavy duty boots so that we don't break Sturdy coming in to try to potentially like defog rocks away, because we do have Iron Head, Defog, and Roost. And yeah, I think the Iron Head is going to be potentially huge for a Sylveon or something like that. So I don't know. I think Skarm, even though he has a potential Trapper, is still a very good mon in this matchup, and I couldn't not bring it because it was just such a good mon in the matchup, and it's just so good defensively. I think I underestimated Skarm when I first drafted it. I wasn't super excited about it. It felt like a pick that I just picked up because I needed a Steel type and I needed potentially another Flying Resist. So yeah, but I've had a good time using Skarmory to this point, so we'll see what happens. Next mon we have is Claydol, another first appearance to go along with Chandelure. Claydol is rocking Teleport, Earth Power, Psychic, and Toxic. I did want to run Rocks here, but I felt like the potential Toxic was just so much better, especially because the only things that can't be Toxic are weak to ground, and they don't necessarily want to be switching in, so the Magneton as well as the Drapion. One nice thing is that Drapion doesn't actually... Like, Drapion will 3-hit KO with Knockoff, so we would be able to 2-hit KO with Earth Power, depending on his spread. We are Colbur Berry, which is why the Knockoff won't be 2-hit KOing, and we do have quite a bit of defensive bulk, and we also have some offensive bulk, or not offensive bulk, special bulk to make sure that we can live a hit from Starmie potentially. So yeah, I think Claydol will be good because it can teleport out and sort of help shift momentum and whatnot. So, and it's a mon I haven't brought yet, so just kind of wanted to get some more mons, some burn, and see what happens. And then the last mon, everyone kind of probably expected it. It is, in fact, the Urshifu. This thing is an absolute animal. With CC, U-Turn, Darkest Lariat, Sucker Punch. We are running Scarf this week. So people are probably thinking Scarf, Sucker Punch, this is kind of insane. The thing is that if it comes down to late game with Mew or Starmie, I need Sucker Punch. I absolutely need it. The other alternative was to run potentially Poison Jab, but I feel like that's so expected, and I think that, like, in most situations, I don't want to be keeping Sylveon in on that anyway, and I think he's going to be really surprised when he doesn't, like, when Urshifu pivots out on him, for instance, and he doesn't see the Life Orb damage, because I've run Life Orb the last 3 weeks, and honestly, like, Life Orb Urshifu is just something you can bring every week. This thing is just so broken, it needs to... Like, in hindsight, I really wish I did ban it. We should have banned it. It's just so broken. But even without Wicked Blow. But yeah, so that is the team. and we are playing very soon. I actually need to give the Rotom its nickname, but yeah, I think this is going to be a very fun match. We're both undefeated, so please tune into the match when it does get put up. And yeah, I will. We'll see what happens. I think this, like I said, this should be a lot of fun. So yeah, if you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you for the match against Polo. All right, thanks. Peace.